Hi, this is Taylor Thompson, original P1, and you are listening to the Drunkards United Football Show. It's like Malort for your ears.
It took a few tries, Sam, but try again. It works out for us in the end. You didn't hear the intro. It was Taylor. I'll tell you after we get done here. I'll tell you what he said.
Sounds good.
It is that kind of magnificent broadcasting that the boys and girls have come to expect from this amazing show. With that, let's start the show. Hello and welcome to the Drunkards United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Huston, and across the internets from me is the unsinkable Samuel Graham. Sammy, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty well, bud. How are you? You're welcome, by the way.
I'm welcome for what?
I pissed you off just enough that you actually hit the fucking post this week.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't know because you can't hear all of it. But yes, I in fact did hit the post, and you're not taking credit for it in your traditional Arsenal pro-agenda fashion that you always like to do.
Actually, I can see you and how surprised you actually were at yourself and the little fist bump you gave afterwards. And then Melissa looking like a deer in headlights staring straight into the camera at me. So I figured
I'm sitting here doing bop, so they know the music's going because the people on Zoom can't hear it. So
you know what? We like to call that, I didn't tell you what you wanted to hear, Sam. I told you what you needed to hear. Okay?
Whatever you need to keep telling yourself there, killer. I think Taylor in his intro is absolutely right. This show is like Malort for your ears. We're recording at Studio H just outside our nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with a friend, most importantly. Definitely share with a friend. Nobody's driving in their car right now, so people aren't listening to podcasts as much. Share a fucking podcast. Get more people to listen to it. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Sammy, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Sure. We are at DUfootballshow on all the social medias. It's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And DUfootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. We also have a Patreon that'll help keep the lights on during this pandemic. It's www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow. With multiple levels, you can support the show and a ton of bonus content if you should. And thanks in advance.
Excellent. Or, as I always like to say, Sam, you could just Zoom your happy ass in here like we have tonight with multiple guests. First off, we have local Newcastle supporter and improving emailer, Keith. Keith, how you doing, brother?
Good. I read that earlier. It made me chuckle.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Very good. Well, you're up in Baltimore, right?
I live in Frederick, actually.
Oh, no shit. How about that? Sammy has a couple of accounts out in the Frederick world as well. Very good. Very good. So, Newcastle supporter, it's just nothing but bad news. All right. And the other person we have here is the silky smooth pipes and head of the Mobtown Magpies and
arch fucking nemesis to Sam Graham
and fill-in co-host extraordinaire, one Mr. Allen. Allen, how you doing, my friend?
I'm pretty good, man. Thanks for having me back. I can't really call you an arch nemesis, Graham, because you don't threaten me.
Okay.
You set it up on a tee for me. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So beautiful. I love it. Yeah. So,
we'll see how this episode goes.
That's right, everybody. We're short for material. We're talking about Newcastle. Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirits industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Sammy, tell people what we're drinking.
So I am probably going to finish off the leader that I drank on the Zoom this weekend, which is the Woodford Reserve single barrel from one of my stores actually selected. Mount Airy Liquors bought a barrel of Woody. It is no age statement, but it is 45.2% by volume, so 90.4 proof. And I think Woody is aged no less than 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. This one was bottled on December 10th of 2019.
Nice. I think they're a 5 year. There's no age statement on it. But once you go over 4 years, it becomes a non-age statement. So you don't, by law, you're not required to put what the youngest whiskey in your bottle is. that's basically based for the small craft distillers who are, doing 1-year-old juice. Well, the consumer should know it's 1-year-old juice. So how much that set you back?
So this one ran me about $58, I think, for the liter. So not horrible. Especially because you get the other 250 ml and just kind of cool because it's a single barrel. So
yep, a lot of my for those of you guys that don't know, that's kind of my one seed. I was a Woodford drinker within the second year of them producing the brand. I drank Woodford before I sold it. I drank Woodford while I sold it. I still drink Woodford today, even though I don't sell it anymore. That's been a always tried and true for me. So
it's bloody excellent.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of bourbon. And that's one of your rye mash bill bourbons where the comparative, your wheat mash billed bourbon would be Maker's Mark. So think of it kind of like Coke and Pepsi, why you have people who like Woodford versus why they like Makers. That's kind of the reason, wheat mash billed versus rye mash billed with the corn. Myself, I am drinking Bell Mede Cask Strength Single Barrel. This is actually an award winner from a top 20 winner from the year 2018. This was number 10. This is based out of Nashville, Tennessee. And I know Andy and Charlie really well, the Nelson boys. This is actually Nelson's Greenbriers, the name of the distillery that makes it. And Mel perked up because Mel has met one Mr. Charlie Nelson on multiple occasions.
You took my mom and I there on a tour.
Yep. And
their pecan, was it their praline cream? Mm-hmm. God damn, that's good shit.
Yep. This is clocking in at 117.9 proof. Considering barrel strength, so not cut with any water. I'm going to run you about 89 on the shelf. And fun fact about me and Charlie Nelson, the unfortunate passing of mentor Dave Pickerel from Whistle Pig. That day, I drank an entire bottle of Whistle Pig, barrel strength Whistle Pig, and talked to Charlie, on the phone for about an hour, both of us sobbing our eyes out. So 2 grown men on the phone across the country sobbing to each other. Keith, what you drinking? What you sipping on?
I'm drinking Ace's Pineapple Craft Cider.
Very good. Mel's a big cider nerd too. You got a cider, don't you, Mel?
I am drinking Woodchuck Hard Cider. It's one of their seasonals, pear ginger.
And Alan, what you sipping on, gangsta?
I got what they call an English style strong ale, the collab between Oliver and Union.
Okay.
It's called Harrying the North. So I thought it was appropriate since we're talking about Newcastle.
Yeah, very good.
It's their take on a Yorkshire Stingo, apparently. So it's pretty good.
Well, and both of those breweries are fabulous. Union, we've been to a couple of times. They make some great stuff. Really, really cool little layout too. Huge fucking building.
One of the original Yorkshire Stingos I sell, Samuel Smith's.
Yeah. Yep.
They do some great.
They still do it once a year, right?
I'm sorry?
Don't they just brew it once a year now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, we barely get anything.
Yeah, Union Craft has got a great event side, and they do a lot of concerts, and we saw a bluegrass festival there once.
Yep.
They do that every year. And Oliver are good friends of mine. They're a little off the beaten path. That's not a tap room for necessarily hanging. It doesn't have a bunch of activities, but it has some of the best beer in Baltimore.
Absolutely.
Cool. And for my beer, I'm sipping on a Gansett because my idiot fucking liquor store guy doesn't want to carry Ice House for me and apparently doesn't like weekly repeat business. But that is a topic for another time. Boys, virtual cheers. Let's have ourselves a great show, okay?
Let's do it, guys.
All right, let's go.
I have to hear that fucking story again. I swear to God.
I've told everybody who doesn't want to hear it 10 times. All right, the dumpster fire that is the Mike Ashley ownership of Newcastle United could be coming to an end, but at what cost? The potential owners are the KSA PIF. That is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund. Kind of sounds like an oxymoron, like the People's Republic of North Korea. Which sounds like, they have a proposed £300 million offer for the club. And besides the mix of joy and trepidation, what are we feeling like, boys? Alan, you first.
Sure. Anxious at this point, because it sounds like, from all accounts, we're close to something. So I don't know what that is. God only knows. So right now it's kind of sucks. I'm excited, but anxious.
Got it. Keith?
Yeah, similarly. I mean, from all accounts, everything is theoretically agreed to and just waiting on, the Premier League to approve it and such, and cross the T's and dot the I's. It'd be nice if the club actually came out and made a statement and gave, supporters some kind of idea what the hell was going on.
Why would Mike Ashley ever want to talk to the press?
Par for the course, yeah.
Sammy, what do you think?
So apparently there is a £17 million down payment that already has been paid.
Yeah.
So it looks like Mike Ashley also today was in London, apparently, and looks like talks are moving forward. I don't know too much about the other thing, but in typical Mike Ashley fashion, there's an 11th hour bid that may scupper this deal. So I don't know much about it. We're not going to talk about that part. But if you've ever heard of Clear TV in the U.S. here, a company based in Burbank, California, Henry Morris, apparently tossed in an extra 50 million quid to sweeten the deal and maybe take it from right out of the Saudis' feet, from the Saudis' feet, and potentially create the next Bin Laden.
One might debate that Bin Laden has already been created. All right. So first question I'm going to throw to you guys, and Keith, will go to you first, and then Alan, you could follow up. Are you comfortable with a quote unquote public fund becoming an investment of a club?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really have any problems with it. I mean, it's a very unique situation. And I know the Saudi regime and everything is pretty oppressive, but as a football fan, I don't really have any problems as to them being the owner, if they're going to be good owners.
Okay. Alan?
Yeah, I mean, I'd kind of have to agree. I mean, we could spout on for hours probably of other questionable ownership groups. You know what I mean? But for us and for me personally, I think as long as it's, doing something towards the club, for, in my eyes, the infrastructure, the training, the academy, things like that, I'm okay with it. I mean, I know there are some issues, but
Someone who will actually give a shit about the club, unlike Mike Ashley, put an investment into the club is what you're looking for ultimately?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sammy, I'm a little weirded out by this, and I want to get your thought on it too. Just there is nothing public about this fund. Nothing. Unless they just literally oppressed their people and went to their door and went, all right, fucker, give me $20 because this is how it's going to work. Like, I love the public investment fund. Fuck off. It's your rich ass oil money. Stop it.
Yeah. So we also have to bring up Sheffield United in this, right? The difference is when I Google the Sheffield United owner's name, nothing comes up for human rights violations with him specifically. When I Google this, I guess you'd say gentleman, because I don't want to get killed, the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the CIA concluded that he actually ordered the killing of a journalist.
Khashoggi.
That journalist's fiance actually said that it would be a stain, a grave stain, I think she said. I've got her quote right here. Yeah, it would greatly stain the Premier League to accept money from this man, basically. But he is the head of the PIF.
11 days ago, they also killed a guy that was protesting their city. They want to build off on the outskirts. They're in the vision for 2020, and they're trying to clear out 20,000 residents to build their modern city. And they don't want to leave. So one of the leaders of the resistance just got shot resisting arrest or something.
I mean, he was transplanted.
So,
they moved him to a nice farm with a big yard so he could run all day and live out a great life.
Just happened.
That's exactly what they did to him.
Part of this where it's hard because you're right. Football's already been tainted with shit money. This guy in particular already owns a club in Belgium, already owns has other sporting interests, has financial interests here in the U.S. in both San Francisco and New York as well as many other business interests in London.
They just bought 8.7% of Live Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right. So you're never going to go to a concert again?
Never go to concerts again.
Right. I mean, oil money is all over everything, and it's been tainted for a very long time. Especially football more recently than some other things. But I just think the mouthpiece for this consortium, which includes 2 other pieces,
I'm going to get to them.
The mouthpiece for this is Amanda Staveley's aptly named PCP. Because why the fuck not?
Yeah. Well, we're also all pretty much convinced when we talk about, shady owners. We can all agree here that Abramovich has probably murdered a person with his hands, right? We're pretty convinced he's choked. Come on, he's a Russian oligarch. He's choked a motherfucker. We can all agree on that, right?
At least one.
Definitely.
At least one.
Definitely. And he might have even done it on orders from Putin.
Absolutely. I think, honestly, Abramovich would look at Ben Salman and call him a rookie.
Very good. All right, so let's take I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk a little bit about the morality, and then we'll go into the mouthpieces on the next question. So first, and Sam, we'll go ahead and throw it to you, let you say what you want to say about it, and then we'll go to the boys. Amnesty International came out quoted saying the Premier League puts itself at risk at becoming a patsy for those who want the glamour and prestige of Premier League football to cover up the actions of what are deeply immoral and in breach of international law. Now, I'd written, do you think that the immoral actions of an owner portray on the league? I think we already kind of answered that. Why is this one the one that everybody's noticing then? If there's been blood money in this league before, if there's been blood money in businesses all over the world before, why is this the one? Is it because it's Newcastle? Is it because it's the fucking cunt Mike Ashley just selling to the highest bidder? Is it the fact that it is the man who ordered the hit on a fucking an American journalist in another country and had him, let's face it, we all know the details, his body was cut into fucking pieces. Like, this is real deal fucking shit. What is it about this one that's putting that there's the big magnifying glass on when all the others kind of get looked over? Sammy.
So I think part of it has to do with the CIA themselves specifically saying that we believe that it was him that ordered this killing directly. Where the Sheffield United owner, again, when I Googled it, nothing came up in terms of specific human rights violations by him, even though he is a prince in Saudi Arabia as well. The Sheffield United owner has also started a paper company in this country where he made most of his money. So he's not necessarily tied to the royal family's oil money. Obviously, he used that to start up, blah, blah, blah. I get all that. But he does something different from the rest of the family. So it seems to me, also, besides that, there's fuck all going on. So why not pinpoint this? We've got nothing else to fucking talk about. We're doing the same thing.
Yep.
Okay. Alan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of different things. It's a slow news day, a slow news month, but yeah, it's the club itself. There's always been some kind of controversy around Newcastle in some capacity for ages. This is just adding on to it. It is the fact that it is Mike Ashley selling to the highest bidder, getting out when he's in trouble financially. Go ahead.
No, 13 years specifically. Controversy's been around Newcastle for 13 years.
Well, no, it's been before that too. I mean, the Freddie Shepherd days, and they didn't come without their share of shit as well. So, Newcastle has always been a polarizing club, and I think now with it's who it is, it's the time that it's happening, and with the amount of money that is at stake in the top six. Clubs like Arsenal are nervous, and I will say it. Chelsea should be. You 5, 6, 7. You know what I mean? Those clubs are nervous. They know what Newcastle can be with the right investment, and people want to shy away from saying that, but I'll say it. I mean, Everton has spent good amount of money trying to get there. You know what I mean? We all know what the prize is and what the pot is that sits in that little pot of.
I was going to say, become another Everton, just on the outside looking in.
Hopefully not. But everybody knows what's happening. Everybody knows the climate of the league. And that's magnified this. And then with nothing going on, here we are.
Very good. Keith, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think this is just such a unique situation. It'd be like if the ruler of China if it was a familial thing and they had $300 billion in wealth accumulated and were buying a club, the atrocities the Chinese government has put them to shame. So, same thing if it was Putin's family or something like that. So it's kind of a unique situation, and they have so much wealth in that family I think that's a big part of the reason it's drawing a lot of scrutiny.
Yeah. I wonder.
Which is not to justify or say that what they do is okay or anything. It's a repressive regime, but
Very
not the only one.
Sammy, you look like you were going to say something.
Oh, I heard also on another show that apparently the Saudi diplomats to London are some of the worst ones that just say diplomatic immunity. They're drunk driving all the time. They're doing like all sorts of bad shit down there.
I could believe that.
And that's just because they're free.
From my nightclub days in DC. Now this was not Saudi. This was Persian. So Iranian and Iraqi, because they need to be Persian, not Arabic. If you call them Arabic, they get really fucking pissed. Where most Arabic people are like, yeah, whatever, call me. Yeah, if you called me Persian, I wouldn't care. Whatever, I don't give a damn. But in DC, in the nightclub scene, it would always be Persian gentlemen who would think that it's okay to take their hand and completely slide it up the dress of the cocktail waitress and pull a Donald Trump, as we all like to know, and then go, "Don't you know me? I am Prince blah, blah, blah," as we would throw them down the stairs because the back stairwell doesn't have any cameras. And that would very, very commonly be the issue. It wouldn't be, brothers would be fine. The white boys would be fine. The Spanish boys would be fine. It was always the Persian boys who just thought, you're wearing a short skirt. Clearly you want me to put my hand up there, so let me just go ahead and see what I can find. Yeah, that was very common.
Are they famous?
No, they weren't famous.
Okay, apparently only works if they're famous.
Yeah, but no. But hey, you forget the most important thing they would always say whenever they would do it. No, it is okay. It is okay. It is okay. We're dancing. We're dancing. We were dancing. I touch you when we dance. We're dancing. It is okay.
Yeah, I've had that happen at your nightclub.
Yes,
in front of you.
Exactly.
I made a mistake. Actually, they only acquired 5.7% of Live Nation, but recently the 8.2%, that would be Carnival Cruise Line.
Oh, hell.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Bad investment. Run away.
They own the boat Princess, which is what we're supposed to be going on in a year, maybe.
Oh, we ain't going on that. I'm sorry,
what?
baby. We ain't taking no cruise now. Sorry.
You might as well should have plated in gold.
But speaking of American companies, they also have significant investments in Uber and Tesla.
Well, it doesn't surprise me with Uber. I mean, the founding man of that used to call his guy's room the think pad. We're going to be up in the think pad coming up with great ideas. Go ahead, Sam.
Bruh.
Yeah,
Be
bro.
up in the think pad, bruh. Let's shotgun 3 Miller Lights first, and then we'll talk.
We're going to crush some White Claws, man. Let's do this shit.
Yeah. Why didn't you bring your thinking tank top?
Says the one man in a tank top as we're watching this
not a
Zoom
fucking
here.
tank. It's not a tank. It's a cutoff shirt. It's like old basketball warm-up shirt.
Sure thing, sun's out, guns out, whatever you say.
That's right, baby. No, what I was gonna say is like I said, you can't really get away from the oil money for the most part. But what COVID has done is drive crude oil down in a bidding war between the Saudis and Russians to negative money. We're paying them to take the shit back, essentially.
Nice.
So, yeah. And then on top of that 8.7 in cruise ships, they ain't fucking going nowhere. So by the time Mike Ashley actually walks down to the Bank of London with that check, it might not clear.
Yeah, true. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the quote-unquote mouthpieces here that I was alluded to earlier. As Sam mentioned, Amanda Stavely and the Reuben brothers have a 10% stake in the ownership. Do we think that this is really meant to be the mouthpiece and they're going to be the front people kind of ahead of everything? They're going to be the people in the press conferences. They're going to be the people giving statements and let the public investment fund be kind of a quiet owner but writes the checks? Or is it the fact that neither one of you Newcastle fans could see past the rager in your pants by the prospect of Kevin Keegan coming back and being part of the club again as an ambassador? First, let's go to Keith.
I think that's what I pictured was because, again, I think this of the overall wealth, 300 million pounds to them is it's pennies. So it's a minor thing that gives them some exposure. But at the same time, they're going to have other people in the public eye. So they're just going to sit back and hopefully make some money on the club and hopefully build it. But I don't think they plan to be the public face, I would imagine.
So, Alan, I saw your head nod in the air. It's because I could see the head of your penis hit the bottom of your chin as it poked through the back of your skull. Go ahead. Tell us your thoughts there.
That's it right there. I'm making flips. I mean, yeah, that's obviously what it is. I think Amanda, the PR kind of end of things, and the Reuben brothers are wise. I mean, all of them, the pair of them know the North, the Reuben brothers and Stavely, and I think the Reuben brothers already have significant investment in the city of Newcastle. I think this is just a vehicle for them to invest more and really do something. Like I said, that's why I think it's exciting. The prospect of what could happen with this group is what it attracts.
Do you feel like the Reuben brothers are maybe around to they put in their initial investment, but they're going to try to buy more and more and more, and maybe kind of eventually make them make that investment fund kind of disappear?
I mean, it's entirely possible. I think if anybody disappears, it's Stavely. You know what I mean? They might take her portion of things, and she just walks away with a nice fat check, and then recycles and goes to make another deal. But yeah, I know for a fact that I've seen a lot of articles, that the Reuben brothers are interested and already have, like I said, invested in real estate in the city and in the surrounding areas. So I think with this being another avenue for them in the North, the academy is a perfect thing for them to build on and just keep on building.
Yeah, and Sammy, I'll get to you in a second. With Stavely, it's she's exceptionally poised. She has experience in both Arabic culture and money and investing with them and the football world. Doesn't hurt that she happens to be a very attractive middle-aged woman. She's right around my age. Like she is exactly the mouthpiece you want for your football club. Like she's good looking, charming, and knows what to fucking say, and is intelligent and can speak to it. It is exactly the mouthpiece you want. Oh, Sammy, you were about to say?
Hold on, I'm Googling Amanda Stavely's mouthpiece.
Alan, you probably saw it on Facebook too, but somebody posted something. Yeah, everyone's jealous because Newcastle's going to have the wealthiest owner and the most attractive owner.
Right. Yeah, she's all right. There you go.
The Cavalcade Andy by Barry Manilow. It's coming. It's coming.
Oh, that'll be great. The Newcastle fans serenading her to Mandy. Love it.
That's pretty good.
Fucking love it.
So what I was going to say on a serious note was it's funny to hear you bring up that point, Alan, about her being the one being bought out. So PCP Capital Partners is a venture capital firm, right? So taking deals, investing, and then flipping would definitely be up her alley. That seems like something she would definitely be into. And then the Reuben brothers are a real estate firm. One of the biggest things against Mike Ashley is investing in the facilities, the training ground, the stadium, a lot of those things. So it's interesting that they have somebody looking to make a quick dime and then a real estate firm actually being involved as well, potentially to make those investments. Somebody with a local knowledge, as you said, and with experience specifically in real estate. I think that's pretty cool. The concern I have though is again, just for me this will kind of wrap it up unless Sam has more questions for me specifically. I think these two people are here basically to help pass the fit and proper persons test put forth by the Premier League. The difference here for me between Sheffield United and this takeover is I think that is the personal property of that particular prince, Sheffield United. And again, I don't think he had specific allegations against him. The Saudi Public Investment Fund is the Saudi government, technically. Really, it's the bank account of the royal family, but it's the Saudi government. That's the problem for me. That's what I can't get past. Also, the head of that fund has been accused of civil rights violations and has been accused of essentially a war crime. I mean, killing a journalist is you never kill the messenger.
Here's a fun.
That goes back to ancient Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a fun
fact. That's why everybody hated Leonidas, because he killed that Persian guy.
Apparently, the Saudi government has recently improved their image by outlawing public floggings and will no longer be issuing death sentences to minors.
Well, how about that? Hey, see, you buy a football club and you start fucking making things work.
The journalist's name, Jamal Khashoggi.
Yes, Khashoggi. We mentioned him before.
Might I say baby steps?
Yeah, they're reasonable people.
Get it? No death penalty for minors?
Yeah.
Baby steps?
Yeah. Yes, Alan.
The last thing is, I'm sorry, it just seems like it's a bit of sports washing. Forget all the shit that I do, because look what I did for the city of Newcastle and how pretty and nice this is.
No, I think you're 100% right. And, I will also be the one to admit that I think that is absolutely part of their plan here. Now my hope is that, and I think all of our hope is that maybe integrating into mainstream Western culture somehow forces or dictates a change in their own culture. But, we can only sit back and assume and hope and think about things like that. They are certainly guilty of some heinous stuff, and I don't think anybody can overlook it. But likewise, why is the microscope here when it hasn't been elsewhere?
And I do have to admit that if the shoe was on my foot, I'd be worried or concerned about the ownership coming in and who they are and not like them as people. But we've sat here and talked about it throughout each week on the shows where we talk about how the players should just keep their money and do their thing. Well, if somebody wants to come in with an injection full of capital for my fucking team, it's all green. I want your fucking green, Yeah. And you may be a piece of shit, but I want your fucking money, and that.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a slumlord that owns Arsenal, that consistently hurts Americans.
Well,
now, the difference is I hate his guts, but, Salman one day will die. Mm-hmm. He'll die. The CIA will kill him. Something will happen to him. He'll be dead. And the club will remain.
Yep.
So while I can have objections to it, but still support my team. You know what? I'm not buying a jacket, a sweatshirt, a pair of shorts every year anymore. I will buy our home shirt, and that's it, because I don't want to support that cunt and give him any more money. Mm-hmm. But I will buy my home shirt, and that's all I'm going to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, there have been some fans who've come out and already said, like, oh, I'm not going to support the team anymore. But I also think that not negating what this man has done, but I do think it's a bit of a rash decision to hold it against your club, especially when you don't necessarily know the full stories behind everything. Although this does, I mean, let's face it, with the mouthpieces and with their overall investment, it screams we're just trying to whitewash this, sport wash this, which is something that also got brought up by BN Sports' president has happened to mention to the Prem in general that the Saudi government for the last 3 years has just been stealing all your intellectual property and doesn't fucking pay for your games at all. And now you're going to reward them by letting them buy a fucking club in the league. That's gotta. Do we think that this fixes things? Do you think that here's the bigger question? Talking about green. First, I'll throw it to you, Alan. Do you think that the league kind of going, nothing to see here, you looky-loos, let's go ahead and slide this ownership group in, is because they then know the Prem then has legs to go get a fucking television deal with the Saudis and with the Middle East? Do you think that could be possibly a case as well, Alan?
Absolutely. I don't know if any of you guys have ever used beIN Sports or, you haven't had the unfortunate occurrence of going down and having to watch every fifth game on beIN Sports, but it's absolute fucking Qatari garbage. So yeah, absolutely. If I was the Premier League, I'd be like, hey, Saudis, let's do this. We can you already got a satellite. Let's just make it happen. There's a lot of money to be made there. And quite frankly, the Qataris are shitting themselves as well, because guess who PSG could run into?
Yeah.
In 5 years, 6 years. You know what I mean? It's all about money. I think my general statement is at the top levels of money of what we're talking about, of owning a football club of these sizes in the Premier League, owning the Yankees, owning the Red Sox. Those guys' money ain't that clean. It's somewhere along the line the money gets dirty.
They fucked over somebody along the way.
Yeah. You don't get that much money without stepping on someone.
So Sammy, hold on.
I just want to say, by stepping on someone, do we mean the protester they killed 2 weeks ago? I mean, come on, we're acting like, Khashoggi's death was a year and a half ago. All right, they're improving their image. 2 weeks ago, on April 13th, the special forces shot and killed a protester that didn't want to leave his homelands. It's still happening.
Yeah,
I'm frankly just shocked that you guys aren't more outraged by this.
Like I said, I don't like that we have to be tied to that. But me as a fan, well, what am I to do? Am I supposed to stop supporting the team? Am I also supposed to ignore the fact that Mike Ashley still has people on 0-hour contracts? Asked for his employees to remain open when the country got shut down. You know what I mean? So you're asking me to now I got to pick because I hate this evil, but I like this evil. So now I'm a shitbag because of it. And I think and I'm not saying that that's what you're saying to me.
It's a moral quandary.
That is what a lot of people are saying to us as a fan base. And now it's because it's come on our shoulders. You know what I mean? There are checks and balances for that. And clearly those are corrupt enough to let things happen. So me as the guy who supports my team and has for 20 years, I'm the asshole that's got to turn away. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
Well, and like I said before that, Newcastle was here pre-Ashley, Stevens or whatever his name was. He was there Newcastle was there pre-Kevin Keegan. Same way Arsenal's been around, since 1886. I still support my team. Fuck Stan Kroenke, but I still support my team.
Yep. So, and then also, let's put this to some American terms, right? Let's say, you know what? Angelos, for the most part, has been a shit fucking owner. Yeah, great. Yeah, and that's the owner of the Baltimore Orioles. Great. They built the wonderful stadium, and while Cal was still there, the place was packed and the team was successful. And outside of that, the man has basically put nothing into the baseball club. And he's made a lot off of it. And he's also made a lot off of the fucking DC team, off of their fucking TV rights to get them in. A real piece of shit. A Mike Ashley, if we were to call it. Then suddenly, somebody new comes along that might be a little shady and wants to buy the fucking Orioles. But the people of Baltimore, let's face it, the Charm City. It's a blue-collar fucking town. It's a town that fucking really lives and loves their fucking sports. And suddenly someone wants to come along and actually take care of the fucking club. What do you expect their fans? How do you expect their fans to react? They're like, please come take care of us. We get shit on all the fucking time. Like, be good to us. Keith, what do you think about that?
Well, again, the reason that this is different is the owner is a head of state. Again, if every country has done shady stuff to their citizens. I mean, even in America.
Oh, God, yeah.
You have all kinds of crazy shit that went down. If George W. Bush was buying a team, a lot of countries call him a war criminal as well. So if it's because he's a head of state that makes it completely different from everybody else.
Okay, well then here's a question I posed to all three of you, and I didn't have this one written down, and then we'll get to more of the make fun shit.
Thank you for that.
Do we feel okay about basically a government owning a team in the Prem? Now, I know that there's, leagues in Colombia are owned by cartels and, places in Russia are owned by oligarchs. I get all of that. But this is the Premier League. This is one of the big 5 leagues. This is one of the largest sports leagues in the world. Are we okay? Let's think about this on NFL terms. If suddenly Saudi Arabia wanted to buy the fucking Las Vegas Raiders and own the Raiders.
The Jaguars.
Would we kind of, yes, close. You mean the London Jaguars. Are we okay? First I go to Sam. Are we okay with a government owning a team in a big, legit, real deal sports league?
Well, there is precedent for this, especially in Spain. Real means royal, and all of the teams with Real in front of their name were at one point or another, some of them at the same time, owned by the king, which in a monarchy is the fucking government.
Okay.
Silvio Berlusconi in Italy, while being the president of Italy, owned AC Milan, sold it to a Chinese shell company that no one seems to know if it exists, made a boatload of money somehow, and then now an American hedge fund owns them, and they breach financial fair play again. So there's corruption all over this. The big thing is none of us are privy to be part of the 1%. The 1% seems to be able to look past all of this shit.
Don't know what you're talking about, Graham. I'm independently wealthy. Go ahead.
Which is why, say, the British government, right, still accepts an envoy from Saudi Arabia.
All right. Alan, your thought?
I mean, fundamentally, I don't like the idea, but it like Graham said, it's happened, and we're just. I think at the end of the day, we're nitpicking over shady stuff amongst billionaires. And
fair enough. Honestly, that's the point of this week's show. Sammy, go ahead. You have a retort?
I have one more thing. And
the 5th time he said that.
Well, hold on. Just in terms of the human rights stuff, I premise this by saying I completely agree that there should be some sort of international standard of how to treat human beings. You shouldn't kill journalists. You can't rape people. Like the bar's pretty high there.
Unfortunately, that world doesn't exist.
What I'm saying is what they're being accused of is happening within their own borders, and it's been that way for centuries.
Except for Khashoggi, that was in Turkey.
I'm not saying who are we to tell them what to do, but it's not like this shit hasn't happened before, and it's not like none of these governments have ever not bought shit from them before, have they? You drive, I drive, we got fucking gas stations, we're totally relying on fossil fuels. We've got money, all tied into that region. So who are we, the 5 of us, to sit here and say what that 1% does,
Okay, so very good. Keith, I'm going to throw something to you on more of a lighter note. Just wanted to say that Mike Ashley flew back to London today from Miami. No question. Just wanted to put it out there during a international fucking pandemic. Your owner just was in fucking Miami. What the fuck? Why not? Let's go cold chill in Miami and pop bottles of Chris and just do our shit. Thoughts on that?
Lay off all my employees.
Look, he's hanging on the beaches. I think most Newcastle fans, if he caught it, nobody would shed a tear for him. They'd say, yeah, all right, way to go. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
I mean, Alan, he did. I mean, let's face it. He did take the furlough scheme from the English government, clearly to pay for his trip to Miami, right?
You know it, buddy.
But don't worry, everybody. He will have an all-you-can-eat buffet, which, by the way, buffets are going to go away after all this whole COVID thing. He's going to have an all-you-can-eat buffet for all the employees that are, quote, out of work right now, and let them all catch it together. Hold on one second, Mel.
I know what he was doing.
What was he doing?
Kraft had recommended him a massage parlor.
Probably true. Probably very true.
Check out the producer with the fucking zing. Beautiful.
There we go.
All right, so
That's the best joke of the night.
So this is actually the most serious question. And first, I'm going to pose it to you, Alan, and then Keith to you as well. This is real. This is.
Oh, Kraft does pasta too.
He does. Very good, Sammy.
He got wanked and had unlimited macaroni in the back. Oh, Mike Ashley was in fucking heaven.
Except for Bob Kraft owns Gillette, which is razors. But nice try. Anywho, let's go ahead to the next question.
Whatever. His last name's Kraft.
I got Alan. I got Alan good. That was good.
Let the joke live. Let the joke live. His last name's Kraft. Mac and cheese, bro.
So here's the real. The real. The little pit in your gut that's hurting right now is this question right here. You've read this question and you know it. You know it. Is Mike Ashley just having a go at all of us? This way, when he doesn't sell the team, he can look at all of you Newcastle fans and go, I could have sold the club to a bunch of fucking murderers and I didn't. Because I love you and I'm looking out for you. The money just wasn't, it was so much money, but I said, no, I have morals. I have fireplaces to throw up in, and I care about you, Alan, you faithful fucking supporter. You know it's coming. Are you ready for it?
No, I'm not. I'm not ready at all. Like, I might walk away at that point in time.
Don't.
I'm not. I think a lot of people
don't kill yourself.
But hey, guys, think about this though. If the Saudis were willing to donk somebody off just for being a little critical of them, what do you think they would do to somebody who's like, oh yeah, we're shaking hands on a deal, and all of a sudden, yoink? I don't think they'd take too kindly to that. Mike Ashley might wind up in a suitcase.
He might get some Korean poison fucking handshake touch shit. That's what he might end up getting.
That would be. He might get one of them Saudi scorpions down the old fireplace to jump in his throat and stab him in the tongue there.
Yeah, man.
That actually would be the best case scenario, and you all could just wipe your hands of everything.
I think he already tried to do it.
Mike Ashley pulls out. They kill him. The Premier League says, well, you killed him, so you can't operate here. That's no good.
Yeah.
And then Amanda Staveley just owns the club, and she has to sit there and choke down all her losses.
Actually, better yet,
got it in. Yes.
Sells them to the previous Sunderland owners. Oh, no. All right, Alan, block out all the noise.
Alan,
all
the talk is.
What's that?
All the talk is that the Mackhams, the noisy neighbors, would be delighted to have Mike Ashley buy Sunderland. I feel he would get them up and invest and run the club, get them back to the Prem where they belong.
Yeah, they might be back in the championship. They might be all good,
Yeah, maybe. Probably not.
So Alan, block out all the noise. It's just you and me here, brother. Just you and me. Yeah. Seriously. Ashley's gonna fuck you over, right? You know that, right?
Yeah,
he's so gonna fuck you over. He's just gonna fuck you over so hard. Are you ready for it? I mean, do you have the supersized bottle of KY? Because it's coming, man. It's going right in, man. You are getting fucked.
I'm chugging Malort, and then I'm gonna just jump off my roof. That's it. That's how it's going to end.
So final question for the segment, and then we'll get into prediction time and all that good stuff because we have already run an hour just about doing this. All right. So if the current Newcastle situation is the dumpster fire, what will we call the new incarnation of Newcastle? I would like to go first, and then I throw it to Keith. I'm going to go with weapons of mass destruction is what we're going to call them. Keith, you go ahead.
I'm thinking the the great generation or any trophies at all. Just being wonderful.
Okay.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
I would probably call it the camel clutch. So once they get their hands on you, you can just fill the trophy cabinet.
Love it, Iron Sheik. Love it. Sammy, what do we call them?
I would say RPP. That way you can get the shake down there with the FA Cup in the center circle screaming, "You down with RPP? Yeah, you know me."
Yes.
Rape, pillage, and plundering.
RPP. Very good.
On the crest. I saw a new draft of it. That's nice.
Yeah.
You've already seen the new jerseys, the long jerseys, like
Yep.
like the Arab garb. Yeah, very good. Yes.
Checkerboard.
Had definitely been seeing that one too.
Everyone's getting Puma headwear. It's gonna be nice.
Well, and you know what?
Everybody's getting an actual Puma.
Yeah, also true.
Don't they all own big cats over there?
And
They're
the,
getting them from Carol Baskin.
and the best news of all, as we finish this out, is you know what? Now all Newcastle fans will have a reason to cover their face.
Ooh.
Nice.
Now it's time to tell you what little we know. It is prediction time. Oh, boy. So, Sammy, how'd your bet go?
I fucking hit it again.
The fucking Slutsk. They're
The
on a
sluts
fucking
are
roll.
coming in for me. I know. It's like I'm back in high school, right? The sluts keep coming.
No, they don't. We're
You
referring
didn't know
back to
that.
your high school days. No, we're not. No.
The sluts only
You didn't know me back-
pretend.
You know me back in high school, bro.
Didn't know you back in high school. Heard, bro. Look at him with the tank top going, bro, you didn't know me back in
Bruh.
high school. I used to slay, man. I used to fucking slay. All right, so what's your bet this week, Killer?
So it's coming in at a plus 700. We're going to keep on the sluts train away to Dinamo Minsk. Over 2.5 goals, sluts to win at 700, plus 700.
Okay, so gotta win by 2. They're still top of the table, right? Slusk?
Yeah.
Very nice. I know. The
Yeah,
names
I
are
think
fabulous,
so.
aren't they, Alan? I just hear Alan chuckling in the background because all you do is be like, he said sluts.
No, it's sluts.
Yeah, I
with
see
a
that.
K. Yeah. They're awesome.
Don't worry. There's also, there's not just one, but 2 clubs with the name Brest
Really?
and Dynamo. Brest. Yes. It's pretty
There are
fucking
2
brilliant.
breasts, you're saying?
Yes,
There's 2
there are.
breasts?
Oh, and don't worry, boys. Taylor
there's the pair
talks
of breasts.
all about the pair of breasts in his bet. That definitely happens. So, now, unfortunately, we got to, kids, we're going to have to kind of walk a friend of ours, a close personal friend of ours, off the ledge because.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
By the way, Sam, let it be noted, I'm not a complete tyrant. I printed the fucking email, so suck
There
my
we go.
balls. And
There
I
we go.
still can't read it very well. The title of this one for Pat is Depression Setting In. Okay. Even though going 5 of 8 on blind picks, being up $149 on last week's bets would make most people feel great, but it's fucking depressing. Wish I could come in here and give you more bets realistically that I would never take. Just, I like making a big bet on an underdog, and I like making money, and I like where it goes. But I don't know what's worse, losing $200 or not winning 100. Everyone be safe. I hope things get better. But I got no bets for you this week because there's just nothing to bet on. I'm sorry. So he busted his load last week on all the games, bet every single game, and it gave our degenerate gambling friend no joy. And he had
Now,
the
I want to know,
and
did he
had the
actually call
draft.
Gamblers Anonymous?
I don't know. I'm going to have a conversation with him. I mean, he had the draft this weekend. Come on. let's face it. I don't know about all you. I know the following. One, I really like draft shows. And two, it was the only live sporting event in the last 2 months. I watched every fucking hour of the draft. It was on my TV playing, and I was sitting on the couch watching every fucking moment of it because all I was just doing going, thank God, sports. There's sports in front of me. Holy shit, there's sports in front of me. But I'm a little scared for you didn't watch any of it because, you're un-American.
I hate drafts. Drafts suck.
Keith, you watch the draft?
No, like Graham, I watched 0 of it. I had no interest at all.
Well done.
Plus,
Okay, you're
I'm a
horrible.
Lions
By the way,
fan.
let me talk to somebody else who actually cares. Alan, did you watch any of the draft? Because I know you did. We're kindred spirits, brother.
I watched the first 5 picks, and then I turned it off, and then I watched the Ravens pick.
Oh, you're killing
So
me.
yes, but not really.
All of you all can fuck off. Seriously.
It's way more, dude. No, hold on. Let me make a point here. It's way more exciting when it's a live draft. I was watching myself work every day. I was a fucking Zoom conference. Nah, I was good. That was boring as fuck.
I found it to be a great episode of MTV Cribs Coach Edition.
I also like how many black mothers snatched young white girls off their sons' laps when they got picked. I don't know if anybody noticed any of that, but there was a lot of bitch. Get out. He's rich now. He plays for the fucking Tennessee Titans. God damn it! Like
I also saw Sammy real quick. I also saw Mamas because I watched all of it. And you did not. I watched Mamas snatch a lot of phones out their sons' hands. Also snatched a lot of hats out of their hands. Be like, no, you don't wear that Saints hat until you've been called by the coach and told you playing for the Saints. And then you can put that hat on. You don't put that hat on until they give you the money, motherfucker. Period.
Yeah. Did you all see the meme floating around from the movie? I think it was Get Out, with the black guy sitting on the couch and the white girl sitting on his back with her arm around him. And it said, "Every fucking living room for NFL draft" before the coaches made the phone call. Yeah.
And there was definitely a dude. I can't remember who it was. Houston, you might know, but he was sitting there and he had 2 phones, and he answered the one phone, which was him getting drafted, and he was listening. And his girl took his other phone out of his hand, and he went and grabbed it out of her hand very forcefully. He was like, "Nah, that's the hoe phone. You can't have the phone.
Can't let her find out about the side piece."
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
that meme is fabulous. But again, as someone unlike all of you who watched the entire draft and understands the draft, I'm just gonna stand on my fucking pedestal right now. Give me my moment. Fuck off, Graham. It was his sister that took his phone.
Was it?
Yeah. I mean, trust me.
married.
It would be so much better if it was his girlfriend that grabbed that phone, and he's just like, "Bitch, you ain't looking at that fucking phone."
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
If you want,
So-
look at the my wife is doing the point to her nose, saying that you're spot on. But like that's totally the darling. If you would like to be an NFL wife, you need to not be concerned about the shit I'm gonna do from time to time that doesn't
On the road,
involve
yeah.
you. Later on in your life, you're gonna get half this shit. Right now, you're gonna let this shit happen. You
Well,
are
listen,
going
let
to
me
give
tell
me
you
back
something.
my phone.
Let me tell you something. That was his girlfriend, and Robert Kraft definitely owns that macaroni company.
There we go.
So fuck off. They're good stories, good jokes. Eat a dick. Okay?
There was another phone bit. Wisconsin, I think one of their draftees hit decline on the coach's call, apparently. Like he was on with somebody else, his agent, and didn't recognize the number and hit decline, and it was them. And then they had a momentary freak out of what that might mean. It all worked out.
There's a Redskins pick, 4th round receiver out of Liberty. Forgive me for not remembering his name, but apparently they did a little piece on him. He figured out the Rubik's Cube in 1 minute and 9 seconds. And they asked him, like, how'd you do that? He goes, well, I read the instructions. Don't you read the instructions? Apparently was a gymnast, was his first sport. Started learning how to bowl 2 months before the draft and had already bowled a 300. And was starting to learn how to play the guitar and golf. And the GM was quoted as saying, a lot of players are going to be pissed because this guy is going to hit fades and get birdies in 3 months, and they're all going to wonder how the fuck did he do it. And all I do is I see this piece on this guy, and I just go, I mean, he's going to suck as a football player because he went to Liberty, but I really like the story.
He'll learn about failure playing for the Redskins.
Why, yes. Yes, he will.
Well, hey, the last piece on the draft that I want to bring up for real
that you didn't watch?
It really isn't about the draft itself. It's about somebody receiving draft picks and how much cheating went into it. The New England Patriots traded a retired player for 2 draft picks. How the fuck does that happen?
Yo, Bill Belichick has been Bill Belichicking since Bill Belichick. I just need you to know that.
Tell me about
Yes.
it. And I know where Bill Belichick's mom lives, and I'm about to throw a goddamn broom through the spokes of her wheelchair. I'll tell you that.
All right, so we got one more bet to get to. With this, we have
Big Sam's Proxy, Taylor's Lock of the Week.
That is right, Samuel Graham. I have spent money on production for Taylor before I have spent money on production for you. I hope that hurts your heart. You're shaking your head no, but I know you'll be crying in your pillow tonight. Hey, boys. Well, I knew our breast boys would have their hands full this week. Get what he's saying? While Kazakhstan's second, because we all know Borat's his first favorite son, second favorite son, failed to make a sexy time win in the back of the net. They are encouraged, though, as the signs of breast remain and secured a draw. Unfortunately, that leaves me down 100 United States dollars. While Rue had a rough go, it was worse news for Dynamo Brest as they got beat 2-0 at home by Shakhtar. All this fucking pronunciation is really fun. That leaves them sagging near the relegation zone. But it's early, so if they get the proper support and push together, they may be all right. At this point, the easiest way to pull my results out of the negatives would be to attach myself to one of the league's better sides. I could easily hop on the sluts bandwagon, train, but no, never. I would rather latch onto a pair of breasts. And since I do not want one breast to get envious of the other, this week's bet is for a 2-breast parlay. See what he's doing there, boys? It's all about the breasts.
I don't think they need it explained, Sam.
It just makes me giggle. So shut up and hit the mute button.
Say
all the fucking mute button.
Say boobies.
So much boobies. Mute button. You can't say boobies without giggling. It's apparently what she believes. Do not unpress that fucking mute button. All right. So find my place here.
You were saying the manager of FC Push-Up Brawl is betting on 2 breasts.
Rip Brest hosts Gordonea, and Dynamo Brest travels to bottom of the table, Belashina. I expect Rip Brest to keep their shape, not let Gordonea nip a game winner, and thus I secure a draw. I'm just loving watching Graham laugh his face off with all of his face in the microphone of the Zoom. And
my face is
for
the camera, sir.
Yeah. The Zoom.
You said microphone.
Settle down. And for Dynamo Brest to put in a perky performance and secure all 3 points against Belashina. If I'm right, my 100 wins me $474. And if I'm wrong, well, it won't be the first time I've lost money over chasing a couple of pair of breasts. Thanks again, boys. Taylor.
Very well written. Very well done. Taylor gets snaps. Good job, Taylor.
Keith, you taking notes on how to write a fucking email?
Hey, you said mine were long-winded. Good God.
Yeah, but his was witty and funny and clever.
Yeah.
And he also tickles Sam's balls every chance he gets.
I mean,
So,
it is also very important that you rub my ego. That's really important. Got to do that.
I'll keep that in mind.
Excellent. So no DU talk, of course, because we're not playing any indoor soccer. And if we were, we'd be fucking flogged for it if we lived in Saudi Arabia because we're adults, not minors. Sammy, any parting words?
I do. Two things. This past Saturday, you weren't on the Zoom call, most of you, so you don't know. This past Saturday was the 16th anniversary of Arsenal winning the league at White Hart Lane in 2004. A spot in which Tottenham commemorated with a nice plaque there on one of the concourses. Number one. Number two.
Arsenal colored glasses.
Yep. Number two, there's a new set of Arsenal colored glasses as the DU family is getting bigger. That's right. My boys can swim. I'm having a bit again. Still, I have a daughter already. You all know that. Having a baby in October. So,
Congrats.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, all the snaps. Thanks, guys. Alan didn't fucking snap, Alan.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, good for you, Sam. Your dick works. Well done.
Yeah. No, dick still works. That's the key. The 30s haven't done that much of a number on me yet. My liver, on the other hand, is a fucking train wreck. But yeah, having a baby in October. So there you go.
October, you said?
October 29th is the due date. Yeah.
Just in time.
The 30th is my son's birthday.
We'll get him a nice new silk tune top. Be perfect.
Yeah.
Silk tune up. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
we're gonna be wearing silk when the soil money comes in.
I didn't think you could make a Newcastle shirt look any worse than make it silk. Jesus Christ.
I mean, his daughter was an Everton supporter. There's photographic evidence of that. And then also a Liverpool.
You gave a 3-year-old a wand, you cunt.
And then a Liverpool supporter, which there is audio proof of that. And now apparently she likes Arsenal like her daddy. But I'm just saying, she liked 2 other clubs before that. I got a little parting words here for you, Sammy. Today's a very special day.
Let's hear what you got there, big fella.
Because my team's exceptionally mediocre and can't win a Premier League. We have to thrive off of the anniversaries of the failures of our opponents, which would be 6 years ago today. One Mr. Steven Gerrard, who apparently doesn't walk alone, but he slips on his own perfectly fine, slipped and fell against Chelsea as fucking Liverpool at that point had a 7-point lead on the Premier League and was destined to win it as he slipped and fell and Demba Ba ran by him and scored. That was the first of 2 goals. And then the very next week, all they needed to do was score and score and score. I'm sorry, they didn't have a 7-point lead at that point. At that point, they were already down to a 3-point lead. They had a 7-point lead in the start of April. But the very next week, they go to Crystal Palace, and all they need to do is just win and win by a lot. And they're up 3-0 in the 94th minute. And then in 8 minutes of magic, Cristanbul happened, and we saw a 3-3 draw. And I'm just joyed while we are dealing with all this bullshit to know that fucking cunt slipped and fell on the ground and didn't win a fucking Premier League title. Last year, they went to Goodison, drew, and lost the fucking Premier League title. And this year, an international pandemic is going to make sure that they don't win. And if they do win, it won't be fucking recognized or anybody will give a shit about it. A fucking Premier League title. Yay, Everton.
Can I just say to your boy that was on the Zoom Saturday, what's his name? Rich, Russ, Evan, all of our Liverpool supporting friends as we celebrate this. Josh, this most glorious of anniversaries. I want to also take the time because it's me to remind you of 1989 because I can and I'm a cunt. But the key part of the motto is you'll never walk alone. Once you stop walking, you're fucked.
Alrighty. So, Keith, thank you very much for joining us, brother. Anything you want to plug, or just, hey, I'm a jackass that likes Newcastle?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty much it. It's not rude. It's not rude because I know you actually fucking have a podcast. So I'm trying to fucking give you some props there, jack off. All right, well then fuck your podcast and fuck you. No, no, Alan, bye.
No, thanks for having me on, guys.
Brother from another. Love to have you, man.
You guys, I was really ecstatic when you guys brought this up. So thank you for doing it. Mel, you're better than both of them. Just so you know.
Alan, Keith, it was incredibly mediocre, but thank you for coming.
I mean, I know you were, but that's what we expect.
We don't want to make the other podcast look bad. So
the bar is here for you, man. It's fine. But anyway,
I mean, Alan,
go ahead.
I was saying, if I ever lose one of these two, you're my first call.
You got it. I'm here for you. But yeah, as Houston said, I do have a podcast. It is some local sports, but there are no sports, so it has turned into jibber jabbering and drinking beers while on microphone. So follow us, 410's podcast. That's 410S podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and then 410's podcast at gmail.com for email if you want to shoot us some questions, some nudes, whatever. We're accepting
some nudes.
Houston will send you a shot of his balls.
You just opened that door, brother. You are about to get a shot of my balls. That is coming.
I don't run the email, so go for it.
Excellent. So, speaking of just talking about jibber jabberish, we're about to do Injury Time, which is just more show. And typically we would preview the games, but there are no fucking preview. There's no games to preview. So we're going to go ahead and just...
I'd say more show that you have to pay for.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to finish up all of our Q&A from our Patreon listeners. They sent some pretty good questions last week, and apparently Mel held back a couple of really good ones for this week. So, nice. Sammy, how do people check out our Patreon?
Sure. Just, again, we're at DUfootballshow on the social medias, DUfootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. And the Patreon is www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow. It's Patreon, right? Patreon.com.
PG County English works for Sam. All right, everybody. Till next week.
Arrivederci.
When Gerrard slipped and Denver Barr's in here. Out comes Mignolet, but Barr punishes of all people Steven Gerrard. It's a terrific moment for Chelsea, but an awful one for the Liverpool skipper. Liverpool 0, Chelsea 1.